This is a pool that was built also, and I really like this one with the colored plaster, and it's got this really nice spa. It's an odd shaped spa, but it just adds to the effect of the pool, give it that classic look, and the pool blends in really well with this particular house and the yard. The yard is really big, so the pool doesn't take away from the largeness of the yard. It just kind of blends in back here like it was always here, and it's a really classical looking pool. It's a very big property, and as you can see, the pool is set far into the house, and you can see how it just blends right in with the backyard. It looks like it's just part of the yard. It doesn't stick out or distract you from the rest of the yard, and it's just a very well constructed pool that blends very well with this size yard. It's actually a very large pool, but it actually fills up the yard. It doesn't look like it takes up a lot of space. It's a really nice new construction built into a yard that's very small, and it fits in there really nicely. This is all there is to the yard. This is basically this area. So this pool was constructed with that in mind, and I think it just perfectly fills this yard up. This particular customer said he got a lot of really bad pool designs for his yard, and this one here is probably the perfect design for this yard. It's an L-shaped yard, and this pool fits in there perfectly, and it just adds a lot of elegance to the backyard, whereas the other designs were really cookie cutter, one-dimensional pools. And so this design is really perfect for this yard. Here's another remodel that was done about 6 years ago, and it's got this real classic look to this pool. It's a big pool, but then when you look at the steps, it's got this modern tile step entryway, which kind of adds to the effect of mixing the modern with the ancient kind of construction. But these big pillars here on the corners of the pool also add to the effect of that. Okay, and here's a pool that was built custom for the customer. I really like this one. It really fits in the backyard well, and it has this, and again, a real classic look to it that really accents the backyard, especially with this effect here with the spa when it fills up. So it's an excellent design for this particular yard. Here's a very small pool that was constructed with a colored plaster, and the color actually brings out the pool a lot in this backyard. It makes it really look good. Here's a very large colored plaster pool, and it really adds to the backyard to have this colored pool versus a regular standard plaster pool. It just wouldn't look the same if it was not the colored plaster for this particular yard. Here's another colored plaster pool that I've been doing since the beginning also. It's about 5 years old. You can see the spa has no mottling at all, basically. It's just one solid color, which is good. But you can see here on the steps there is some mottling going on. This is what I talk about when I talk about the color kind of changing. And you can see it here on the steps very distinctly that it's a darker and a lighter gray. But most of the pool is actually free of that particular mottling. Here's another colored plaster pool. You can really see the mottling on this one. It's pretty distinct without the sun shining on it. You can see the two different colors, mainly in the shallow end. You see the deep end has more of a consistent color, and shallow end has more mottling. Here's another colored plaster pool. You can see that it's about 2 years old. There's a little bit of mottling going on in this one, but more of a uniform type. You can't really tell because the whole color is actually changing at the same time, and you don't see splotches all over the plaster in this particular pool. So realistically, the colored plaster pool is going to have some mottling. You really can't expect it not to change color over time due to the plaster mix, the dye. Just the water itself has elements in it that will change the color, and the fact that you have to add chemicals every week to maintain the water all contribute to the change in the color or mottling of the plaster. And a really good thing about the colored plaster is it really gives an elegant look to the backyard. It actually also keeps the water warmer, and it's a good choice for a lot of customers